Well, we're back, everybody. Segment 2 here with Barry Smith, the Leadership by Invitation, the book author, speaker, coach. Gosh, you do everything, Barry. So welcome back.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Surprised you have some time to sleep at all.
I sleep when I can, but sometimes it's not long
Too
enough.
much.
But I'm
All
working
right.
on it.
Okay, great. Quick introductions. Again, welcome back to Lead with Giants TV. This is our second segment with Barry Smith. My name is Tal Schnall. I'm producer and host of the show. It's great to see everybody. We'll start off here with Liz Tinselli. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Liz Stinselli with Stinselli Advisors. Happy to be joining you here, especially here to be here with Barry. I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Great. Glad to have you this evening.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Forbes, hanging out from Sarasota, Florida, founder of the Lead with Giants community. You can find out more about us at leadwithgiants.com. And Liz, you hurt my feelings. You didn't say you were glad to be here with me, but you know.
That's okay. She didn't say it with me either, so that's okay.
But I'm glad to be here with you, Liz, and Barry, and head producer Tal. Good to see you.
Thanks. Then we're glad you're here with us. And Barry, go ahead. Just a quick introduction about yourself, sir.
You bet. Barry Smith with Building What Matters, coming to you from Gresham, Oregon today.
Great. You having some summer-like weather already?
We are actually. Today it is, and tomorrow will probably be different. But this time of year, we take any sunshine we can. So all good today. Sun is shining.
Good deal. I wanted to ask you about a lot of stuff that you're surrounded with, the people you're surrounded with, the coaches, the mentors, great organizations such as the John Maxwell team. I know you're learning every day, but what are you taking in, and what was that transition phase that you were embracing it all? You're doing a lot of things. You're doing mastermind groups, development coaching, things like that. What does it feel like? How do you being around all these people?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Tal, it's pretty amazing. And not just to be around awesome people, but really awesome people from all over the world that are accomplishing some of the same things that I am, and to be able to collaborate with them on a daily basis has just made a huge impact on my life. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I think I'm, connected to the greatest group of people on the planet. And for me, really, on an individual basis, I've never been connected to a group like this in my life. And Lead with Giants community is very similar. Maybe I just have some more similarities with the John Maxwell team on content and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's really about collaborating with like-minded individuals that are out to add value and make a difference in the lives of others. And Lead with Giants community is doing the same thing, so it's great to be a part of both.
Great.
So Barry, I wanted to ask a question. You're a coach, trained with the John Maxwell team and served on the advisory council there, but that isn't something that you've been doing all of your life. You were very successful in the construction industry. And what made you change?
Well, I know the construction industry, and I know it's not the only one, but it's a tough industry. It's feast and famine. It's up and down. It's just challenging, Plus, you're working with the environment on the Pacific Northwest. That's a challenge. And over time, I became so consumed in what I was doing that I really disconnected from who I was. And when some light bulbs finally came on, I realized that was not sustainable. I couldn't keep up the pace I was at, 60, 70, 80 hours a week or more. And I was headed for something bad, and I don't know what that was, but I finally realized that there was really nothing I could do other than change the environment I was in, which was not realistic, or change my environment. And so I started creating content a little over 3 years ago. I wanted to I wanted to stay in the arena of leadership. I knew how hard that industry was, and I wanted to be part of the solution, you know, and not to be a victim of the problem, the problematic sides of it. And that was pretty much my vision at that time, just leadership development, something. I've got a plan for the future. I was only about 45 at the time, and I certainly wasn't going to sustain another, you know, even a couple years probably, but definitely not 5 or 10 or 15. And, you know, so I kind of started quietly and softly moving that direction, and the opportunity came up to become part of the John Maxwell team, and I was, you know, a fan of leadership, a student of leadership, a fan of John. But when I took on that role, you know, I had resources now. I had people to help me. You know, we were talking about mentors and stuff earlier. And, you know, it was a process, just like anything, Dan. It's a process. It takes time. But as I moved forward and gained more clarity and more focus on, you know, what I wanted to do, and you mentioned it earlier, my purpose, you know, I stayed at it. I have had great people around me to support me, encourage me, make sure I hear what needs to be heard and not necessarily what I want to hear, and call me out, you know, and hold me accountable. And I think that's a big piece of it, that accountability. And, you know, it's been a journey.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but, you know, I think there's, for people that might be watching this broadcast who are working at a job that they sort of like you feel that they're disconnected from their purpose. They feel a sense of calling perhaps to something else. You know, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to someone in that position?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because again, they're looking for, you know, typically we all look for a solution to the problem, and it's tough. But I would point back to, what do you really want to do? Because my experience has taught me that if you're not really doing something that you're passionate about, it's not going to sustain. And if someone feels like they're stuck in a job, you know, they just dread going to work every day, or maybe they don't dread it, but it's just not something that fills their bucket, then this may be kind of blunt, Dan, but I'll be honest. You need to really think about what you want to do. If you want to change your condition, you know, people want to change their circumstance, they want to change their condition, but they're not willing to change themselves. And until they are, you know, they're probably not going to find that. And my encouragement to answer your question would be, really take some time, reflect, and, you know, figure out what it is you want to do, because that's a big piece of purpose. It's a big piece of joy and fulfillment. And, you know, and then take the steps to get there, you know, and it's not like you can walk out of one job and into another. You know, that happens very seldom. Myself, I took, you know, almost 3 years to do it. And, you know, I'd say from a lot of stories I've heard, that's about what it takes, you know, a couple, 3 years. Because you gotta, you know, you don't want to leave the income behind and the security, and you want to build up one while you're cutting back in the other. But it's doable, and it's got to start with the belief, first the awareness of what that looks like, and then the belief you can do it, and then again put together the right plan, you know, that serves your purpose, fits within your vision, and come up with the right strategy. I had two of my mentors challenge me very early on in my process and say, you need to be very strategic in moving forward, because this is a big deal. And I learned some bumps in the road along the way of how smart that statement was from them, because there were bumps in the road. And, you know, now I can share those stories and hopefully shorten up the duration for people. But I love that question, Dan, because there's people like that. There's more people like that than there's not. And, you know, I want everybody to succeed and love what they do. And if I can be a help to that, I want to be.
Great. I would suppose that having a coach might be helpful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Barry, I wanted to ask you, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, I love that question, Tal. I think I want my legacy really to be that I impacted people's lives. You know, that when I'm gone, not just impacted their lives, but maybe empowered or equipped them to do the same thing. You know, legacy is more than one generation deep. and obviously John Maxwell, for instance, his legacy is going to continue on now. Who knows how long? He's got 3,800 people working on his team right now, and we're growing. But just that generational difference of, at the end of the day, I don't want my story to be done. I want my story to carry on, even when I'm not here to tell it. And adding value and making a difference in the lives of others, building what matters, people.
Right. Well, and you're doing a lot of great things just from being your friend, and noticing some of the things you're doing is just, it shows you have not only a purpose, but you want to leave a legacy behind. So that's really important.
Thanks, Tal.
All right. Well, this has been an incredible show. I think we've had an amazing insights from all of us here, and thank you, Barry, for being here, sharing your not only your leadership book and what really inspired you, but as Dan mentioned, giving the opportunity for people to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and even transforming careers, industries to get to where somebody sees themselves. So I think we've learned a lot here.
Thanks, Tal, and Dan, Liz, you too. Thank you. It's great to be on.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, have a great evening. Again, you can find us on all social media outlets out there: Facebook, Lead with Giants, and LinkedIn and Google Plus communities. And we'd love to have you as part of the big vision of 10,000 uplifting leaders. So please join us. It's great to have you. Barry, share with us just a website that people can go into some of the things you're working on.
Yeah, you bet. Buildingwhatmatters.com. I've got some other things going on too, but everything pretty much routes through there. And I invite anybody, reach out, send me a message, shoot me an email. I'd love to engage and answer any questions anybody has.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, Ted.